Thanks for tuning back in to my channel, I Shot Logic. This is Banks the OG. And today, I got to go on ahead and address these Cowboys, man. As a lifelong Cowboys fan, the amount of suffering that we've dealt with over the last 27, 28 years has been crazy. So I'm going to address this today. So as everybody knows by now, Green Bay last week, they knocked us out of the playoffs, 48-32. And the game really wasn't even that close. So as a long suffering Cowboys fan, I have to say I've had enough. Something's got to be done.
I can't take this shit no more.
I'm gonna take a look at Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott as well, and give my best take on why I think we're stuck in the mud as a franchise. So here we go. I get it. Teams lose, right? It happens. But man, when we went down 2 scores, I knew we was in trouble. Then when we went down 3 scores, I knew it was a wrap. It was hard to watch. If you let these jokers come in and go right down the field and score on you, and we're supposed to be a top 5 defense, but we have struggled against the run. And it showed. Everybody talking about Dan Quinn. He's on the head coaching market, blah, blah, blah. I don't see it. Biggest game of the year. And even though we had the top offense, our defense is supposed to be what saved the day. One of the best teams in terms of takeaways. We just didn't get it done. It almost seemed like everybody got disinterested after we got down 2 scores. Seemed like nobody wanted to play after that. Now, I'm not going to get too stat happy on this one, but I am going to give you some facts, give you some numbers. Most of the time, as we know, it starts from the top down, but I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up this time. So first, let's get into Dak. Man, I have supported Dak. Man, I have took up for him when people talk about how trash he was. I supported him. I watched him get better. I watched him make throws the year after that he couldn't throw the year before. He's improving every year. He's getting better and better, and he has gotten better. But even though he's gotten better, we ain't got nothing to show for it as a team. Because when it comes to the big games, he has a hard time. And some of the criticism's fair. A lot of it's fair. But some of it ain't. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, let me just get real with you on Dak. I do not like his demeanor after a playoff loss. I've seen guys like Derek Carr get emotional. I've seen guys like, Tom Brady look dejected, and he's the GOAT. I've seen players in press conferences be pissed off because they lost. Dak's demeanor is just cool as a cucumber. Oh well, like he already had his vacation planned. Stand up at the podium, looking like he ready to go to South Beach. He looks like he's getting ready for South Beach when he's warming up for the game. So let's take a closer look at Mike McCarthy here. Since the Super Bowl that he won, 77-24 is his record, 62%. It's not shabby. The last 2 seasons at Green Bay, he was 11-16-1, 40.7%. And what's even more damning is when Aaron Rodgers comes out, it says here, as a source reported Aaron Rodgers saying that had one of the lowest football IQs, if not the lowest IQ, of any coach I've ever had. Of course, he backed up 100 months later. He looks back on it now and, he relishes the time that he had with Mike McCarthy and all this. The last two seasons at Green Bay, in 2017, they ranked 26th in total offense, 22nd in total defense. They improved in 2018 to 12th in total offense and 18th in total defense. Yet they were still 4-7-1, and Mike McCarthy lost his job after week 13. So for them to be top 20 total on both sides of the ball and to only be 4-7 and a tie, things ain't really going great. Since 2020, since he became the Cowboys head coach, he's 42-25-0. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. Now, the key losses that we've had in the playoffs have been for three main reasons: penalties, clock management, and yes, Dak. Not only the quarterback play, not only clock management, but penalties. And it's always at the worst times. It's always in third down defense, critical momentum shifts, opportunities to seize momentum, and so on. Penalties. We've been one of the top teams in penalties when we're not the number one team in penalties since Mike McCarthy got here. I mean, this don't make no sense. I thought this is supposed to be the guy that got with the times and was ready to get back in the game. And for people to give him credit for helping develop Aaron Rodgers and his footwork, he's had 4 seasons with Dak, and we still don't have any deep playoff success to show for it. And clock management, don't get me started on that. I mean, there's been so many situations, I done forgot most of them. But some people say, well, Dak's slide, that was on Dak. Nah, that wasn't on Dak, bro. Y'all should have had instructions. He should have had instructions on what to do with what time was left. You don't typically see other coaches around the league making those type of mistakes in those critical moments. At least the top highly respected winningest coaches. They don't have those types of situations. That Mike McCarthy, a Super Bowl champion coach with a pretty good overall record for his head coaching career, as seasoned as he is, with a Dallas Cowboys cap on his head, has made some of the most boneheaded decisions and mistakes. What's ironic about having Mike McCarthy as head coach is he was one that was responsible for derailing what was one of the most promising seasons that we had going back in 2014 when he challenged this call. And yes, it was a catch. I don't care what nobody says. I said it was a catch then. And now, by rule, it was a catch. But that's water under the bridge now. We've had plenty of other opportunities since then. More Pro Bowl talent on both sides of the ball, and still can't get over the hump. And what's frustrating is to look back at it. Over the last 2 seasons, we have had 16 straight home wins. We're 4-5 on the road. Got 1 road playoff win against Tom Brady in Tampa. 1 home loss, and 2 road losses. But this was supposed to be the year. We won the division. Had got at least 2 home playoff games. But look who shows up. You guessed it. That Black Cat. Right on time. Just to say, hold up, y'all. Y'all know y'all ain't gonna win. Y'all know I got this. He shows up and shows his ass every year. And we the butt of Stephen A's jokes every season. Because no matter how great a regular season we have, when it gets to January, that Black Cat come out in his curtains. And in embarrassing fashion, in most cases. That's what kills me. Embarrassing as hell. How you let a team that's 9-8 that barely made the damn playoffs come in your house and you favorite and do that. It's that black cat, I'm telling you. Since the glory days in the playoffs, when we were favored, we got a below 500 record when we're favored in the playoffs. 5-6 to be exact. But the point is, all the talent we've had over the recent years, yet puppet coaches have held us back because Jerry wants the lion's share of the credit. He held on to Jason Garrett for dear life, like he was his son, so to speak. He's like a son to me. Well, I mean, I get all that, bro. But, I mean, do you want to win or not? What's he messed up about that is, hell, Jason Garrett's got one more playoff win than Mike McCarthy does as Cowboys coach. A few more seasons, of course, Jason Garrett had. But still, as Dallas fans, when he let Jason Garrett go, we were ready to party. We were ready to party in the street because finally he got rid of old 8-8. That's what we called him, 8-8. In case y'all don't remember, 3 straight seasons, he went 8-8. That's how he got the nickname. And the year before, we were calling for Jason Garrett's head. The year before he fired him, which was in 2018, the coaches that were on the market, Eric Bieniemy, Matt LaFleur, Jim Harbaugh, of course, he was always on the market, but, Michigan had him. Lincoln Riley, Kevin Stefanski, Robert Saleh, and Bruce Arians. Now, to those names, when I look at Bruce Arians, Lincoln Riley, Matt LaFleur, Eric Bieniemy, now, mind you, this is the year before Jason Garrett's last season. Now, after Jason Garrett was fired, you still had Eric Bieniemy on the market, Lincoln Riley, Kevin Stefanski, and Robert Saleh. Jerry passed up on all of them to go hire a coach that had been at the helm of the team that had been responsible for our most playoff losses, who had a top 20 total defense and offense, and was 4-7-1 and got fired. Aaron Rodgers said he was behind the times, reportedly. All these warning signs. Oh yeah, he's changed up. He's went back to the lab and he's changed up how he does things and blah blah blah. And he's worked on this and he's worked on that. And if these guys are on the market, you go and hire this guy who didn't even have a coaching job. He wasn't a coordinator nowhere. He wasn't doing nothing. Sitting at the house, eat Cheetos. And this is a guy you thought was going to take us to the promised land. Come on, Jerry, man. I mean, when are you going to channel your inner Yoda? I mean, shit, you should have some inner Yoda. Hell, you look just like him. I mean, what was going on in your head? To the promised land, he will take us. Win the Super Bowl, he will. Lombardi Trophy, he will get. The answer is that what you're thinking? Show Jimmy, I will. Is that what you thought? How did you come to the conclusion that he was the guy? That's what I want to know. Yoda Jones. How did you come to the conclusion he was a guy when they hired him? Me and my brother was still living at the time. We both said, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. Stevie Wonder could see he wasn't a guy. He wasn't gonna be the guy to get us over the hump. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl, but damn, that was 10 seasons ago. Prior to you hiring him, and then it really got sticky Oh, he's taking over play calling. Oh shit. So the guy who one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time said basically don't need to be calling plays. You decide to give him the play calling duties. It simplified the offense. Dak looked better than he's looked his whole career. But what the hell does it matter that we go 12-5 and Dak has a MVP type year? If you get to the damn home playoff game against a team that's 9-8 that barely got in, and get the backache out your ass, and only got points in garbage time just to make it respectable. Us as fans see that he wasn't the guy. Jerry, you run the show. You got all the money. You make all the decisions. You mean to tell me that you couldn't see that? You see it from a mile away. It was a bad hire, and now you're gonna hold on to him and let him finish out his contract for what? To get the same damn result next year. I ain't buying no jerseys. I ain't buying no cups. I ain't buying shit. Because it's clear to me that as long as Jerry's there, they're not going to win. As long as he is sitting in the big chair, as long as he's in the big Tony Montana leather chair, calling the shots, they're not going to win. They're not going to win until he's either got a retirement basket or in a casket. And he owes it to the fans to put a quality piece into the puzzle, because we've all made him rich. He owes the fans an opportunity to win. And whether it's his way or not, it ain't like he's not gonna get no credit for it. It ain't like he's not gonna be recognized. He's the owner of the damn team. You think Bob Kraft gives a shit about Bill Belichick getting credit for winning? Bob Kraft is above that petty shit. He ain't sitting there the whole time that him and Bill Belichick were together. Bob Kraft would come out and talk when he had to talk. Other than that, if it had something to do with the team, it had something to do with what was going on the field, what was going on with the players. Unless it was something outside of football that was in the national press that he had to address as an owner in that position, he didn't do all that. Head coach handled all that. And look at how successful they were. You think Bob Kraft gets any less credit or gets looked at as any less of an executive or less of an owner because Bill Belichick was the coach? Who put him in that position? Exactly. So I don't understand why Jerry Jones wants to swallow his damn pride and get a real damn coach. I was for sure Sean Payton was in line. I thought, man, it's time. He's coming here. Now I look up, he goes Denver. I said, damn. Well, don't guess we'll be winning. I'm just saying again, as a long-suffering Cowboys fan, Jerry, look, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to get the right people in there. You've had the talent, but you have sucked on coaches. Absolutely fucking sucked on coaches. Until you swallow your pride and get the right coach to do the job, but you two immersed in being the head of the snake. I'm surprised it ain't something in your last will and testament that you want to be buried with a mic with a satellite connection to the damn antenna so you can speak on the game from the grave. Because the way you act, you seem like that type of dude. Come on, man. Enough is enough. Do what's right for the team. Do what's right for the franchise. Give us everything we need to win. And the weakest link over recent years has been the coach. Hands down. You're gonna start losing some fans. And you ain't gonna lose me because I've been a lifetime Cowboys fan. I ain't on that bandwagon stuff. I ain't going nowhere. But starting to lose interest. I understand. You thrown all this money around, gotten players, moved players, did this, did that. Yeah, it's all good. But you ain't had the right coach. None of the time. You wasted Tony Romo's career fucking around with Jason Garrett. And now you wasted Dak's career messing around with Mike McCarthy. That black might as well be perched on top of Jerry's head. Because Jerry can't put his ego aside to win the Super Bowl. That's what we're fighting. That's Dallas Cowboys fans. We're fighting Jerry Jones' ego. That's our enemy. It ain't Green Bay. It ain't San Fran. It ain't the Rams. It ain't the Eagles. Go off somewhere and be rich, dude. You're a freaking multi-millionaire, billionaire. Go on somewhere. Enjoy life. Find some young chick to lay up with or something. Do something. Just get out the way. Let Steven run it. You've had your shot. Damn near 30 years. And we've done nothing. Nothing. When it counts. After 30 years, you ain't looked in the mirror and said to yourself, I gotta do something different. You've been doing it your way, and it's gotten you nowhere. Nowhere. So anyway, that's all I got to say, man. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this content, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate you.